All right, so now we are on to the paper towel dispenser. Now, normally a video like this wouldn't need its own video, but this thing is going to need a lot of modifying to work, and not modifying to work in our trailer, just modifying to work. So what my issues are with this are these. Now, looking at these, they were 3D printed. So they chose for it to be like this, which I don't understand. Because if you imagine putting a giant roll of a paper towel roll in here, like this diameter right here, because this is like a closet shelf hanger, but it's 3D printed. This side is actually okay. But what I don't like about this side is you got the threads dragging against this hole, and it kind of binds up as it goes. So that is the issues that I see with that. So what I'm going to do to fix this is I'm going to try to drill out this giant bolt, and I'm going to put that right here, and then this will ride against this, which will be nice. So we're going to try that first. And then over here, I'm going to have to cut out a piece of aluminum and then make it like a round kind of quarter ball shape. So then that way when you get in, it just wants to locate, which I don't understand why they didn't just print something like that. Because this is 3D printed. I don't know if you can tell from the camera there, but you can tell that it is obviously 3D printed. This is not cast molded or anything. The other odd thing too is the rest of this is really nice. These are really nice welds. All the bending is really nice. The whole thing is really nice except for that. And then the other thing that I'm going to do, so that the screws that it came with are these like self-drilling. I mean, they're okay. But what I'm going to do is I got some countersunk screws. So I'm going to countersink these so that whatever we're putting in and out shouldn't interact with these. So yeah, so right there and right there. And now this is going to live right here. And the wires that we did in a previous video are still good. They're out of the way. So one of the things I'm going to also have to do is the mounting mechanism for the broom. See how it goes this way? This side is stays, so I just need to flip each one of these so that it goes the other way. So I'm hoping that this is not like an all-day project. I'm hoping that I can just fix this right away. So this is just kind of like something I want to fix. This side is an absolute 100% has to be fixed because that is kind of just not working. So I'm going to take a hole saw, I'm going to drill out a piece of aluminum, probably 1/2 inch, and then round it up and then throw it in there, and then hopefully that will fix the issue. All right, so here it is, and just a scrap piece of aluminum that I found. It's about 1/2 inch thick. Just going to drill it out so that I get a nice round disc out of it. There it is. All right, got it all cut out. Now we are on to the next part. All right, so now that we have the little puck, I need to tap this. It'll make it mounting easier, and then will also be for shaping. So I'm just going to use a 1/4-20. Got some tapping fluid. This aluminum taps pretty easily. All right, now that it has threads, I can put it onto a drill and we can start shaping. All right, so got it on the drill. This is what I'm going to use to shape it. You'll see how fast this shapes on with this combination. All right, so got that burr off. Now let's make it round. Getting round. A little smoky. All right, so got a kind of used down paper towel roll. So I've gotten paper towels that look like that right out of the package, you know? And somehow they expect this to just plug into there as you're fighting the spring on the other side, which seems pretty unrealistic. And the first couple of times that I've gotten it, it's been on the outside, just kind of jamming it into like the roll itself. So this other side, I've shaped it so it's as perfect as it can be, and you would have to get that absolutely perfect, and it's even kind of hard doing it with there not being another side. So what our plan is, so this is that aluminum piece that we cut out, we tapped it 1/4-20. Now no matter where this goes, it's automatically going to locate in there. So you could buy a really cheap, you know, for your house paper towel dispenser. The purpose of these is not only the shelf, but the spring keeps this from unrolling as you're driving down the road. But we're going to put this back together, and I'm going to have my son try to put it on there just so you could see that it's not that easy, and it's not because I'm an old fart. All right, so here we go. We're going to have him try it. Now, granted, it might be easier on if it's mounted on the wall.
And then it's partially in. You probably can't see it too well, but it is in the paper towel roll at the moment.
So, are you finding that kind of overly difficult?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the other thing too I never liked is look at the angle of that. And that's the hope of this. If this doesn't work like easily, then I'm just going to abandon it, because like this will sort of work. I've also, at this point, I've broken the edge. Take it out. I've broken the edge of this so that it is now more of a 45 instead of a direct 90, so that it tries to locate. We could have made another one of these for here, but that is the wrong thread. That is not 1/4-20, so it would I would have had to then remake that, and then remake this, and then this handle wouldn't have fit, so then I would have had to find another handle. So it was just like, okay, let's just at least try to go with that. And if this doesn't work, I'll have my son 3D print maybe something that's more round that'll locate. But this right here is going to be not as tall, and will easily, like, no matter what is going on, it easily locates. And then the more pressure, the more round it makes it. So this is a much better way to go. So I think right now, we're going to go try to drill out the middle of this. And I'm going to make basically a bushing that this will slide through. And then this will clamp on. So yeah. So we're going to go try to drill this out. And if this doesn't work, then we're just going to move on. All right, we're going to try to drill this out now. Oh, we found something. Oh, look at that guy go. Good for him.
Yeah. Test a bit.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, and then we're probably going to chop it up, chop it to the right length. We might 45. Oh yeah. So we might 45 the outside just so there's nothing to catch as it's going in, and do that on the other side. And then we're going to cut the bolt down. All right, so we measured. It's about, we're cutting this at about 800 thousandths. That leaves just enough gap right there. Any longer on this, and it's going to start reducing the stroke. And since we already, on the other side with the little round disc, this is already thinner than the other piece. So we're kind of taking the stroke from this side and kind of putting it on the other side, if that makes any sense. But we're gonna try to chop this down now. All right, we are chopped down. So we use that nut as a spacer, and so we could use the other nut if we need to. And it's always good to have a nut on threads that you're cutting, because then it'll push the burr back down. And now we'll countersink and 45 those parts so that it all slides pretty easily. But this is already like literally a night and day difference of how this is going to slide. Even that little bit of that you're hearing right there should be taken out once we countersink the end of this. All right, so we actually changed out the spring because the other spring was just too aggressive. And then that's what our machined piece looked like. And then we countersunk the holes. It fits in there really nicely. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mount it right here. I'm going to do one first, and we're going to pre-drill it, and then we're going to screw it in. All right, so now that that's being held in a little bit easier, I'll do another one, maybe down here. All right, that's already pretty well locked in there now, but we're still putting 2 more screws. And I've already checked, it does clear the table, which would be pretty awkward if it didn't. All right, so now let's see. There you go. All right, so we're still gonna swap these around. All right, so we are all done at this point. We swapped these around so that now it opens from that way, leaving that open so that it can't interfere with it. So right here, you're gonna come in. This still has tension on it. And how it seems like it wants to work is you're gonna kind of go in at an angle, kind of putting the ball in, and then just putting that, and then just releasing that, and then this eventually finds its way. So this is way easier than whatever this company was deciding to do with that other part. I don't quite understand that other part. Not to mention, now with this bulkhead right here, it doesn't have like this crazy grinding sound. And on top of that, this thing is always 90 degrees. So the roll is not like this, because as you pulled it, it kind of like went like this and acted like it was going to come off. So I'm pretty excited about this. This is now done. All right, so we're off camping on the trip, and I thought I would put in a clip of how the shelf is actually working out, and I thought I'd bring in the expert.
Okay, so the first thing we do when we get up is usually get some coffee or tea. So we have the cups, we have a couple spoons, we have our cozies, because these are stainless steel, so you definitely don't want to hold them when they're hot. Got some oatmeal, Scott has some tea here, and then we have seasoned salt and regular salt, and then tea bags, and decaf coffee and regular coffee. Generally we also have some hot cocoa there, but I think we drank it all, and then the paper towels. So everything's really easy to access. We boil the kettle, we make some tea or coffee, and relax at whatever campsite we're at.
How is this system that I had to modify, how is it actually working?
It works really good. The roll turns easily, but the spring keeps it from like unrolling while we're driving. It's easy to pop in and out. You just do that. And then Scott modified this part so you just pop it in there and pop it there and you're good to go.
Okay, so the only issue we have with this is now we want more shelves, right?
Yes, it works so well. It's so handy to have stuff out, but this is such a nice deep shelf that nothing moves while we're driving. And so yeah, the only thing I would say is I love it and I want more shelves.
All right. I was going to clear coat it because it's got fingerprints all over it, but I think we're just going to clean it and see what happens. Maybe eventually we'll start putting stickers, or I don't know, maybe the patches will just kind of overwhelm and take this. But we still got plenty of more projects to go. So we just appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any comments or you'd like to know anything else we used Loctite on both sides of it to lock everything in, including the bolt we made. We Loctited everything, so everything should be good to go there, and we countersunk these. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and just let us know if we're doing a good job or not. But thanks for watching.